The British have released a new version of their Rega Elicit MK5 integrated amplifier. It differs from previous versions in that it has a built-in Wolfson DAC, which means that now you can use the Rega Elicit MK5 as an extension for your home audio system, for example, by connecting it to a TV via an optical input. Also, Rega Elicit MK5 can be connected digitally using a coaxial input. Optical and coaxial digital inputs, galvanic and optical isolated. This means that all interference that can theoretically enter the Rega amplifier through the cable will be cut off. In addition, there is an input on the rear panel for connecting a turntable. By the way, a fairly high-level phono stage has been installed in Riga. Phono corrector Today, I tested this phono stage with a Roksan Radius 7 turntable. It's just some kind of godlessly audiophile turntable with belts, counterweights, with some kind of godlessly sophisticated, thick, transparent table. There are 4 RCA inputs on the rear panel for connecting analog sources, plus a direct input for connecting an analog source directly to a power amp, bypassing the preamplifier. Also, there are 2 inputs for recording. If you are dabbled in re-recording cassettes, reels or vinyl, then connect and Riga will completely calmly connect the need for re-recording. By the way, one of the inputs is marked as link so that it does not mean. I really don't know. There are also 2 outputs on the rear panel, one preout to which you can connect either a power amplifier or a subwoofer to expand the bass component of your home audio system, and one output for re-recording. And of course, what rear panel of the amplifier without an acoustic terminal can connect one pair of acoustics to the Rega Elicit MK5? The look of the Rega Elicit MK5 is pretty vintage. He is simple. There are absolutely no frills in it. I generally got the impression that this amplifier was made at a factory where kitchen ventilation hoods are produced in the evenings. Because in fact, all the panels are straight lines, are very simple. I see functionality and I don't see any frills. There are 2 completely identical buttons on the front panel. On the left, turn on off, on the right is the input switch. The inputs are switched by brute force and the buttons are pressed quite tightly, with a characteristic click. The volume control is quite interesting and it is made according to the ALPS scheme, whatever that means. This means that the volume control is accurate, clean and does not introduce any distortion into the music. Also, which is typical for all Regas, on the front panel, the Riga corporate logo is lit in red letters. There are only 2 colors in the colors of the Riga amplifier, black and red. And this red, combined with black, in fact, it glows so dimly that I always create an association with the dimly glowing eye of the Terminator, which is about to pounce on me from the darkness. Today, at the high-fidelity showroom, CESU 33 in Riga, I tested Riga together with a CD player also from Riga. Look, this is a Rega Saturn MK3 and what is typical, this Riga has a top-loading CD. Pay attention to how the cover of the CD player opens. It's just like the hatch of a spaceship. Down, up again, down, up again. It really seems that the Terminator with its blinking eye is on my left and the armored car from the second part of the Alien movie is on the right. And the top cover is really the cover of Luke's armored car from the movie Aliens, in which Sergeant Ripley dunked everyone she could dunk. Rega Saturn MK3 has a Wolfson DAC on board, not even 1 but 2 DACs, to improve, of course, the sound quality. If you are interested in which Wolfson model is used here, follow the link in the description and take a look. Interestingly, the CD player can also work as an external DAC, for example, for your computer or for another source. That is, you can connect a computer here via USB, or you can connect a TV here via optics and get analog signals at the output through the RCA output. Quite an interesting and convenient solution. The design of the Saturn is exactly the same as the Rega Elicit MK5 and according to the manufacturers, the Saturn must be paired with the Elicit because they are made for each other. The remote control of Elicit and Saturn is pretty vintage. Look, vintage, black, rectangle. I just got the feeling that I returned to the distant 90s, when the first remotes for TVs appeared. And now, a shiny, lacquered, acrylic miracle, studded with rectangular and square buttons. He just asks, push me, push the buttons. The remote control is plastic, rectangular with rather sharp edges, the lowest edge. The lower edge of it is so rounded, apparently. Well, yes, this is an ergonomic solution, in order to make the remote control more convenient to hold in the palm of your hand. The remote fits comfortably in the palm of your hand. From the previous generation, Rega Elicit differs in two fundamental ways. Most likely, some other changes were made, not so significant, but the first fundamental thing, a Wolfson DAC appeared in Riga, which supports a signal up to 24/190 seconds, and the second thing that improved in Riga is a preamplifier. The Rega Elicit MK5 has received a new, advanced FET preamplifier, and this amplifier is taken from the Atos integrated amplifier from the top line, which retails for about €4,000. This is done to get the cleanest and most transparent signal to the power amplifier section. Power amplifier in Riga Class A-B. The power of the Rega Elicit MK5 is 105 watts per channel at 8 ohms, 127 watts per channel at 6 ohms and 162 watts per channel at 4 ohms. That is, the power indicators of this amplifier indicate that it has really sufficient power. Inside, in the center of the amplifier, a huge toroidal transformer is installed, which feeds the whole sound festival that Riga gives out. The gain transistors are on the sides of the amplifier, left for the left channel and right for the right channel. During operation, the amplifier heats up from the sides and heats up in the center where the toroidal informant is located. Smiley-faced transformer. The weight of the amplifier is very solid. It weighs 14 kilograms, and when you try to lift or move the amplifier, you get the impression of such a weighty, metal blank. Solid stuff, I'll tell you. Today I listened to the Rega Elicit MK5 with a Rega Saturn MK3 Cosmic Origin CD player. I also connected the Roksan Radius 7 vinyl player for the test, and all this household I was connected to, in my opinion, completely underestimated British Acoustics Rega RX5. Small, floor acoustics which looks very compactly. Their bass speaker is located on the side, by the way, it is directed inward at both the left and right speakers. A small mid-range speaker and a small tweeter. Acoustics, not tall, but guys, what a large scale, assertive sound it gives out together with Rega Elicit MK5. It's just kind of a bomb. Today, in the high-fidelity salon, Sesu Yella 33, Riga, I listened to various vinyl records. I listened to CDs. The only thing I didn't manage to listen to, I couldn't connect to the Rega Elicit MK5 via Bluetooth. Well, there is no Bluetooth receiver in it, guys, it's just some kind of crime for our days. Also, I listened to the Rega Elicit MK5 with my open back headphones, the Manhe 4XX Hi-Fi Magnetos, pretty good headphones. I like the sound today, guys. Best of all, Riga sounds of course with vinyl. With vinyl, you get from Riga the most blissful sound. The sound does not hit the analytics, the detail in it is pretty average. But, it has enough pressure, enough power, enough scale to take you to the place where this music was recorded, so that when you hear the music, you see the images of the performers in front of you. The sound is thick. Perhaps I would compare it with the sound of vintage Sony S amplifiers. At one time I had a Sony TAR F590ES, Sony TAR F570ES amplifier, I had a Sony TAR F770ES, and now, the sound of Riga reminds me of Sony with its density and saturation. Riga's focus is on the most important thing that happens in music, and this is the main action. It is, as it were, accentuated, it is highlighted, at the same time as the details recede into the background. Stage widest. It definitely goes beyond acoustics and to the right and to the left. It is deep, informative, I hear the layers, I hear that the musicians are located at different distances from each other. I hear that there is a physical space between the musicians. At the same time, the feeling of the sound is very pleasant, comfortable. You can definitely listen to this sound all day long. And if you turn on this music with the help of Riga in the evening, it will definitely cause you to relax, the urge to relax. Because the music is warm, thick, it is colorful, it is a little bit like pleasantly rough woolen. That is, it warms you. In no case will she ever tire you with analyticity, importunity. On some recordings I heard a slight emphasis on the mid-highs. Sometimes, sibilants are underlined. But, it depends on the record. For example, when listening to digital recordings on Saturn, I heard sibilants underline, but when listening to vinyl on Roksan Radius 7, I did not hear sibilants. Very thick, rich, pleasant, full-sized, relaxing, involving sound. Guys, in conclusion I will say that the design is of course controversial. In my opinion it is simple. I would certainly like to see something more refined. On the other hand, this is just my opinion. Since the engineers in Britain created such a design, it means they liked it, it means they were hooked, and in fact, when discussing the Riga brand amplifiers with colleagues, I found out that my colleagues really like this design. That is, design is a personal matter of taste. Sound-wise, this sound is unequivocally warm, with a bit of a lingering bass. It is vintage, thick and full-bodied. Relaxing. That is, it is a pleasant sound and perhaps an interesting design. But who cares? By the way, I've been talking about how Riga sounds with speakers but completely forgot that you need to tell about how Riga sounds with headphones. I listened to Riga today with my HIFI MK4XX magnetic planars. It is important that when you connect headphones to the front panel, the speakers are automatically distinguished. You don't have to look for a button and turn them off manually. The sound in character is exactly the same as the sound through the acoustics. I got the impression that when you put on the headphones, the sound just gets closer to you. The same thick, rich, pleasant sound with soft, powerful dynamics. The images of the musicians are focused smoothly, quite naturally, layering in depth, everything is right. But it's all just closer to you. In fact, Hi-Fi only costs 300 and Rega Elicit MK5, if I'm not mistaken, look at the link, it costs more than €2,000. These headphones are not exactly a pair, but nevertheless the sound is still pleasant and engaging. Today in the high-fidelity salon at Sesu 33 in Riga, I got a pleasant feeling and pleasant listening experience, and in conclusion I want to tell you that the preamplifier channel is developing to improve the sound quality. To improve the video quality I need to update the equipment on which I shoot my videos. Right below the video there is a thank you button, press it, and all donations received, all thanks received, are sent straight to improving the equipment. That's all my friend, see you soon.